So my wife wants a steak dinner for her birthday, and I used to work at Outback, but that was over like a decade ago, and I don't even know how much I remember. So we're gonna start off with the star of the show, which is the steak. I got some strip steaks from Kroger. These aren't the fanciest, they're about 1 inch thick. I used ribeyes before, T-bones, fillets. You can use whatever you want. You can go to your butcher, get a real nice cut. I wanted to use something that a lot of people had access to. Hopefully, you're near a grocery store, maybe even a Kroger. And you can get something like this through, it's the private selection that they have. And, you know, I don't want to do anything crazy, a $50 steak, something wild that people can't. I want to do something you can actually get your hands on, okay? So, it's about 1 inch thick. What we'll do first is we're going to pull it out 1 hour before we're ready to start our meal. We're going to let it come to room temperature for that hour. We're going to pat it down dry. You want to get it really dry. That way you're going to get a really good sear. And you'll put your salt and pepper on it. Some people just do salt. Or if you want to do a special rub or like Montreal steak seasoning, knock yourself out. I just like to keep it simple with some salt and pepper. Let it sit at room temp, which is good because we need that hour anyways to do your baked potatoes.
I was slightly worried about these sweet potatoes because I couldn't really remember the compound butter, so I had to kind of wing it. This was from Outback. We're going to wash the potatoes first. Could do regular potatoes, but it's my wife's birthday. She likes sweet potatoes. Go ahead, stab them with a fork to make some holes. Don't be shy. Just pretend you're in prison and you're shanking this potato because it looked at you weird from the other side of the yard. Get in there. Throw them in the oven, right on the rack. We're going to go about 400 degrees here for roughly 50 minutes. So you don't want to overcook these. There's sugars in there. They could start to burn. So keep an eye on them. Maybe start at 40 minutes. Look at them. Also, if you have a bigger potato, it's going to go longer. Next, here's the compound butter. Grab a whole stick of butter and just toss that into a bowl. Boom. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Some cinnamon. Toss that. Almost hit my wife. No big deal. I'm making her steak. It's okay. And then also, finally, the star of the show, the honey bear. Gotta love that. So it's about 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, stick of butter you're going to soften for an hour, then whip it together. Now you're probably like, don't you have a hand mixer? No, I don't have a hand mixer. I'm poor. Okay, that's a lie. I have a hand mixer. I'm just lazy is what it is. So I just kind of didn't want to get it out. I just used this fork and I actually tossed it in the microwave for 10 seconds to soften up that butter and mix it all together. Middle of the griddle is around 500. We're closer to 450 on the sides. I had all 4 burners on high here. I'm going to turn the outside 2 to low. That way the 2 burners in the middle are smoking hot before we're going to sear it. They're going to use the outside to finish it. I'm not using oil. I'm just going to put the fatty part of the steak down there and use that to kind of just get some fat and some beef fat right on the griddle. And we're going to cook the steaks right in that and they will not stick. So rub it all the way around, put your steak down, and I'll put the other one down and listen to the sizzle. Yeah, those are 2 good looking steaks right there. So about 2 to 3 minutes. You can see you got a nice crust at 500. Flip it. Do not put it in the same spot. That's cooled down now. So you want to go to a different spot where no meat has been on that's still around 500 degrees. So this one too. Just look at the crust these things get. There's nothing wrong with steak on a grill. People love them on a grill. I'm just telling you, you got to at least try it once on a griddle. You will not regret it. You get a great crust. It's like a cast iron pan. A lot of high-end steakhouses do their steak in cast iron pans. So trust me, this is a great method. You definitely should try it. I went ahead and kind of put it on side a little bit, get rid of some of that pink. I kind of regret doing this. Happy accident here because I think it helped to kind of cook these a little higher than I wanted, but we'll go over that later. So here's the tricky part from Outback that I learned. So they're like 330 in the front right. I want mine medium rare, but I want them to finish at the same time. So mine's 330, then you get closer to the middle, it's closer to 430, 450. That's the bigger one for my wife. It's her birthday, but she wants hers medium well to well done. So they're going to finish at the same time, but they're cooking at different temperatures, so hers will be more done. So that's kind of how you do that little trick there. Then you put pads of butter down. Again, you can't do this on a grill. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but look, it's just, you can't throw garlic down either. This garlic is amazing. Plenty of garlic. Keep the vampires away. All you're doing is kind of peeling off 2 cloves, and then don't worry if there's a little bit of skin. It doesn't need to be perfect. You're not dicing it. You're just smashing it with the back of a knife just to kind of open it up, let the fragrance come out a little bit, put it in that butter, and then just let those steaks sit in this garlic butter. And oh, yes, look at that. That's just worth every penny of this griddle, in my opinion. Just basting these steaks and more and more and more butter. This is like Paula Deen dream right here. Look at this, just butter on butter, a little bit of garlic on top. Beautiful brown color on these steaks. Now, I left them a little too long, okay? Just keep an eye on your steaks. These aren't that thick, so you got to watch them. I wanted 125 for medium rare. I shot up to 130 on mine. About 150 is what I wanted for my wife, 145, and it shot up to 160. So you want to pull it 5 degrees below what you're shooting for. So keep that in mind. These were a little more done than I wanted. Put it on the blue plate. The trick with that plate there, always add your garlic as well. Do not leave those garlic behind, okay? Just don't leave the garlic behind. No garlic man left behind. But we used to put our plates in the salamander to keep them warm for steaks. You can pop it in your microwave for like a minute, and then that way you're not putting your hot steak onto a cold plate, okay? All that butter on the griddle, please grab all that too, and that fond. We're going to put it on there as your steaks rest for 10 minutes. You might have noticed we haven't done our vegetables yet. That's because we got a full 10 minutes for these steaks to rest. I know it's hard, trust me. They look delicious, but you just really want to let them rest, and you want to let them rest on a hot plate that we're going to cover with foil. Put the middle burners on low, outside 2 burners cut off for our veggies. Here comes the foil onto the plate, and then we're going to put it all into the oven to keep warm. We don't want it to cook, okay? The potatoes are done, the oven's off. It's been about an hour, 20 minutes now. So we don't want it to cook. We just want it to all stay warm while we finish up our veggies. That way everything's hot, everything's coming out together. If you put your veggies down early with the steak, they would have got overcooked and already be done. Onion with a little salt, pepper, garlic. It's going to the exact spot the steaks were, along with some mushrooms right in that fond, just to pick it all up, mix it, move it to the side to my warming area. Pat of butter going down. Then we're going to do my wife's favorite vegetable, her absolute favorite. She loves this, asparagus. Asparagus is great on the griddle. I like to put it in the oven a lot, but it's very easy to do on the griddle. You really just want to keep it around 350, 375, about 5 minutes. If you've never done it before, you break off the bottom, half an inch to an inch. You just kind of bend it with your fingers and it'll break where it should break. It'll look like that. A little more salt, pepper, garlic, a little bit of avocado oil, and then you just kind of roll them. Our mushrooms and onions in the back, this is the best part about having 2 zones. They weren't quite done. That top area wasn't as hot because the steaks cooked there. So after I rolled my asparagus and flipped them, I had to move these mushrooms and onions over. So I moved them down to the bottom. You can see they're smoking, steaming a little bit there, started to cook more. That's the best part about having zones, is you can move things appropriately without overcooking. Karate chop that lemon in half. Acha! And then we're going to squeeze that on the asparagus as it's done. So good. My wife absolutely loved this steak dinner, said it was amazing, a great birthday, one of the best steaks she's ever had, even though it was a little overdone. But I personally thought the ribeye I did that's on your screen now was better. I really think it turned out better. So you should check out that video and see how I did that ribeye.